Kumo DTV, man, back with another one. And right now we're going to get into the Israeli links to Venezuela. Man, I've been seeing a bunch of people on the internet saying how it's very weird the opposition is so pro-Israel and how they're thanking Israel for this, and Netanyahu's immediate response. Honestly, I'm seeing not that many influential people talk about it. It's mainly just people on Twitter. The most influential person I've seen talk about this is Sneeko, and that's about it. I haven't really heard anything from many other people, but let's get into this and see what they are saying. This is from the Times of India, not the best source, but let's see.
Crisis. A single phrase has added a new geopolitical edge to Venezuela's crisis. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez says the abduction of Nicolas Maduro carries what she calls a Zionist tint. The allegation follows a large-scale U.S. military operation in Caracas. It has now opened a fresh line of international controversy.
As if by inheritance we have the sacred duty to safeguard our national independence, our sovereignty, our territorial integrity, which has been...
Okay, great. They have it translated and have it ready, so I don't need those tabs anymore. I had this video ready, one translated, one not translated, and I didn't find the part where they were talking about Israel. This should be the section if they're putting it in this video, so let's get back to it.
Been savagely attacked in the early hours of today. The international community has joined in and raised its voice in support of Venezuela. From the vast and diverse nations of China, Russia, Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, and Asia, the governments of the entire world are simply shocked and utterly dismayed that the sovereign Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela is being made the victim and primary target of an unprovoked attack of this particular nature, which undoubtedly carries significant and deeply concerning Zionist overtones. It is truly shameful.
In a televised address, Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, made a striking claim, saying the abduction of Nicolas Maduro carried what she described as a Zionist tint. Rodriguez was appointed interim president by Venezuela's Supreme Court after U.S. forces launched an early morning attack on Caracas, leading to Maduro's removal from the country. According to Venezuelan officials, the operation involved more than 150 aircraft, marking one of the most significant U.S. military actions against the country in years. Rodriguez says Maduro and his wife were flown to a detention facility in New York. She demanded their immediate release, insisting Maduro remains Venezuela's only president. Calling the attack unprecedented, Rodriguez accused Washington of attempting to seize control of Venezuela's vast oil reserves under the cover of military force. Her reference to a Zionist tint pointed, she said, to alleged Israeli involvement or influence in the U.S. operation, a claim likely to intensify diplomatic fallout. Surrounded by military commanders, Rodriguez announced the formation of a National Defense Council and full deployment of Venezuela's armed forces. She declared the country would never again be a colony of any empire, framing the crisis as a fight over sovereignty rather than leadership alone. The Zionist tint allegation adds a new international dimension to an already volatile standoff. Remember, Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu congratulated President Trump and the U.S. for storming Venezuela and capturing Maduro from Caracas. The Israelis were already upset with Maduro for his pro-Palestine stance and the ties with Axis of Resistance factions. Ex-Trump ally and Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene criticized the U.S. government over its steps targeting Venezuela, reminding that people voted in 2024 against foreign intervention and foreign regime change. In a post on X, Taylor Greene highlighted Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado's ties with Israel, comparing her left-leaning stances on abortion and LGBTQ issues to President Nicolas Maduro's more conservative ones. Taylor Greene also stressed Maduro's opposition to Zionism, claiming that most Americans I talk to are not buying that this is really about drugs and sanctioned oil tankers, and it's not about social issues. She wrote, quote, "Here are some interesting facts about Venezuela that are easily searchable. Venezuela is a predominantly Catholic country with very strong laws against abortion, with the exception being the life of the mother. Maduro has been critical of Israel, calling it a genocide in Gaza and against Zionism. Maduro's opposition, Maria Corina Machado, is a strong supporter of Israel and wants to restore strong relations with Israel. She is more left-leaning on abortion and LGBTQ issues. Most Americans I talk to are not buying that this is really about drugs and sanctioned oil takers, and it's not about social issues. I just added that to highlight some differences in the two leaders. People voted in 2024 against foreign intervention and foreign regime change, as we have seen far too many times how that's turned out. It's not good, and people are so sick of it."
The masks have finally fallen off.
It's no longer about drug trafficking or the Tren de Aragua or the Cartel de los Soles. The mask has finally fallen. All they truly want is to be the absolute owners of our oil and our nation's immense wealth.
We truly do not want any kind of war. We are a people, a nation that desires peace. And the vast reserves of oil in the land itself are the rightful heritage of the Venezuelan people. They are not, under any circumstances, for the people of Donald Trump, nor for any single president who already possesses every conceivable thing and yet still relentlessly craves more.
Respect us, for we are a free people, a people with rights, a people who respects international law. It is unacceptable.
Venezuela erupts over U.S. President Donald Trump's latest claim of taking back Venezuelan land and oil rights. Thousands gathered in Caracas, accusing Washington of trying to seize control of the nation's resources. During the demonstrations, protesters waved placards reading, "We are not anyone's colony," and another declaring, "If you mess with Maduro, you mess with all Venezuelan women." Speaking at a ceremony marking the 195th
All right, let's
anniversary.
try and speed this up. I don't know if they're gonna talk too much more about Israeli links and all that, but yeah, man, I just pulled up a clip right now of something from 2009 where some Israelis are speaking about something similar to what just happened. So we'll go watch that after this. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to me how not many people are talking about the Israeli link when Israel was like the talk of the town this whole past year, really since 2023. But I felt like the pressure was really put on them within the last year and a half. And a lot more regular normies have been speaking up and speaking out about Israel and their atrocities and their how do I word it? Well, we could just say it how it is, their influence in American politics and geopolitics.
Of independence hero Simón Bolívar, Caracas Mayor Carmen Melendez condemned the U.S., saying Washington's actions are a direct attempt to dominate Venezuela's oil wealth. Melendez said the true motive behind U.S. pressure has now been exposed. She dismissed accusations of drug trafficking as a cover for resource seizure. The mayor vowed Venezuela would defend its sovereignty and natural wealth. Speaking from Plaza Bolívar, she urged national unity and constant readiness. She said citizens must remain alert and prepared to respond at any hour. Melendez declared Venezuela would not bow to intimidation or foreign threats.
The masks have finally fallen off.
It's no longer about drug trafficking or the Tren de Aragua or the Cartel de los Soles. The mask has finally fallen. All they truly want is to be the absolute owners of our oil and our nation's immense wealth. Are we going to allow this to...
Yo, the crazy thing is, like, yeah, see, AI voice generator, like, it says it right there. Like, the Times of India is using an AI that is, like, their voice, but in English. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's this lady's voice, but if she was speaking in English.
to happen? So their true colors are showing now. Just imagine the president from over there, the American president, says they're coming to claim what is theirs. Huh? When was that ever theirs? We ask ourselves, huh?
All who love our homeland in national unity are called to be mobilized, to be alert, to be prepared, that if we don't have to sleep, we won't sleep, right? But we are alert, that if they call us at 2 in the morning, we will be there. Wherever they may call us, we will be there because we are ready, fully prepared to defend our beloved homeland. Long live the people of...
Other speakers echoed anger towards President Donald Trump. Residents rejected demands for Venezuela to surrender land and oil. They stressed the country seeks peace, not conflict or war.
Look, I want to tell you, honestly, from here, from the entire Venezuelan people, we truly do not want any kind of war. We are a people, a nation that desires peace. And the vast reserves of oil in the land itself are the rightful heritage of the Venezuelan people. They are not, under any circumstances, for the people of Donald Trump, nor for any single president who already possesses every conceivable thing and yet still relentlessly craves more, purely out of an insatiable lust for power. We are a free and sovereign nation, and the lands of Venezuela belong to us, and the oil too, Donald Trump. Long live our homeland, Venezuela, and we will defend it tooth and nail.
Respect us, for we are a free people, a people with rights, a people who respects international law. It is unacceptable that our President Maduro seeks peace, diplomacy, and upholds the law, yet President Trump does not respect it. So we ask you, President Trump, to stop robbing us and to respect our homeland.
But what do I tell Trump? That here Venezuelans are respected? That Venezuela is respected? We are a free and sovereign nation, and we will fight for what is ours. Trump, the only thing that awaits you is what is right here.
Well, he should, first he should go to a psychiatrist. He's saying things that are absurd without any sense, but then we tell him that we are a peaceful society and we don't want war, but we are prepared to defend our motherland. We are not going to give up our oil, nor our wealth, nor our land.
Trump has said U.S. military operations in the Caribbean will continue. He claimed Venezuela must return oil, land, and assets to Washington.
It's the goal of the blockade with Venezuela to regime change. It's the blockade. Not going to let anybody going through the country going through. You remember they took all of our energy rights. They took all of our oil from not that long ago, and we want it back. But they took it. They illegally took it. You mentioned getting land back to Venezuela.
Here he goes again saying they illegally took our oil. It is their oil that we probably had some type of deal with them to obtain a certain amount of it for a certain amount of time because we set up their oil refining infrastructure. It was never ours to have. It was never ours at all. We were supposed to most likely get a percentage of their oil for a certain amount of time because we set up the infrastructure to refine the oil. Just like, it's ours, it's our oil, and we're taking it back because they stole it. Like, all right, bro, come on.
Getting land, oil rights, whatever we had, they took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching. But they're not going to do that. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back.
Caracas has strongly rejected.
And I mean, what he's saying is like, oh, they threw our companies out and they did this or that. Like, I mean, is it illegal? That's what I don't want to know. That's that. I need to look into this whole oil thing and do a video on that because is it illegal what they did? Is it their right to do it or not? Because, I mean, did they sign a contract or not? What's going on? Did they pull out and Biden okayed it, or whoever was running Biden okayed it? Like, what happened there? Because they might be entitled to have done this, and you can't just say, well, yeah, I'm the new president and I want it back. I want it back. It's mine. Like, it's not how the world works, buddy.
Donald Trump's claims as false and aggressive. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro has raised the issue with the United Nations. He warned Secretary General Antonio Guterres of an escalating pattern of threats. Venezuela says its resources belong to its people alone.
We are standing firmly on our own land. We are exercising our legitimate and undeniable right. And we are resolutely defending the most sacred and fundamental asset any country possesses, the inherent right to a prosperous future for its children, for its young boys and girls, for all its families, and for its entire nation.
War, we have already made our position absolutely clear. We said no, but in the United States,
The overwhelming majority of the population is completely and utterly opposed to any form of military intervention. They are saying in the United States, interventionism must finally come to an end.
Today I spoke with the Secretary General of the United Nations. We had a long talk. And I fully explained to him the entire escalation of aggressions and threats that we have been subjected to. And what has transpired just yesterday and today when the United States government asserts that the oil belongs to them and that we Venezuelans have stolen their precious petroleum. So you're saying that Venezuelan oil, it really belongs to them, and that all Venezuelan minerals, the gold and all the other minerals, they also belong to them. And what we had never heard before, that the lands of Venezuela belong to them, and we must return them immediately. It is quite simply a warmongering and colonialist assertion. And we have stated this repeatedly, and now the entire world can see the truth. The truth.
I mean, honestly, it's like, yeah, it's like the same type of deal. Like, bro, you're trying to say, oh, they backed out of whatever deal we had in arrangement and they kicked our oil companies out and took back the oil and this and the minerals. What's the key word though? They took back. It was theirs to begin with. One leader made a deal, another leader came in and didn't want to honor that deal anymore and pulled out of that deal. Same thing that Trump has done with other countries, and the same thing he's trying to do right here, but he's like trying to bully them into giving up the oil. And I mean, I haven't heard him personally say something about gold or minerals, but might be after that too. That might be a part of the plan, most likely is. So we'll just have to see on that one, but it's no different. Like, I don't understand why certain presidents or certain people in our government feel as though we can do whatever to whoever and they can't do the exact same thing that we're doing, if not something that's more justified than what we're doing.
Truth has been fully exposed. There is a clear intention in Venezuela to bring about a regime change, to impose a subservient puppet government that would not last even 47 hours. A government that would ultimately surrender the constitution, its national sovereignty, and all of its immense natural wealth, thereby transforming Venezuela into nothing more than a mere colony. Quite simply, that is not going to happen. Never, ever again. Never, never, not in its entire life. Venezuela will never be a colony of anything, of anyone, ever.
Our prophet of song, our prophet, our poet, why today I can truly say that Venezuela has achieved the most powerful level of national unity that we have ever known. And this national union has only one objective: to make international law respected, to make national sovereignty respected by exercising it, and to make the right to peace, to life, and to the future of Venezuela respected. And that right to peace and to life, it will be respected.
I mean, that's something that I can get on board with as far as the international law being respected, because international law is a fucking joke. That shit only applies to people who don't have nuclear weapons and can't do something for themselves. Like, if you can't fight for yourself and actually fight off a country, then that shit applies to you. But if you have nukes or if you're formidable fighters, then it doesn't apply to you. Like, you don't see anything like I mean, to my knowledge, I might have to do some more deeper research into it, but you don't see any people in the Taliban being brought to the ICC. They now run Afghanistan after we pulled out. You don't see Netanyahu facing any charges or anything that's, I mean, he's been charged of things. He's supposed to be in the ICC. He has an ICC warrant. So does Ben-Gvir. I'm pretty sure, or not. Matter of fact, don't quote me on that. I don't know about Ben-Gvir, but Ben-Gvir has definitely been charged in Israel for numerous things. But what's his name? Yoav Gallant, the defense minister at the time of October 7th, he has been, he has warrants for the ICC. So, I mean, these guys aren't facing the international courts or facing any consequences for international law. But they're some of the main people that are always bitching and complaining about international law. No one cares about international law. None of these superpowers or people who have real pull on a global scale care about that shit. Which is a problem. What's the whole point of having it? Just so you can punish the little guys? Let's see this.
Hi Abe. I wanted to ask you, since we met last, about the issue of Venezuela. Because I heard voices kind of saying it's not so bad, and Latin America is not so bad, but I'm not convinced. And the question
you have good reason not to be convinced. You have good reason. It is getting worse.
Right.
And little by little, as long as oil money works.
I'm told that by our experts, it's the only, except for Iran, it's the only government-propagated anti-Semitism today around the world. It's already
formally, right?
This is
first
quite scary.
within the country and then outside.
So, are you pressing in any way?
We've talked to.
I want to know what the anti-Semitism is. Sorry, guy, but they're always claiming anti-Semitism about everything. It's always anti-Semitism. You can disagree with some type of Israeli policy, and then you're an anti-Semite. You don't like Israel, anti-Semite. But I thought you guys were like a land of the free, like America. Like I thought you guys were freedom of religion and you allow gay marriage and all of this stuff. Like, why is it anti-Semitic to say something about your government? I thought there was Christians there, and I thought you guys have Muslim citizens too, and atheist citizens as well. Like, what happened to all of that? It's always anti-Semitism.
Jesse Jackson has a relationship, but it's not for camera, but there are other plans.
We'll talk about it.
It's not for camera, but there are other plans. Wonder what that means. Okay. One more video for this topic. It says Russia and Iran make direct Venezuela entry after Maduro capture in big dare to Trump. So, I mean, that is kind of poorly written. I'm assuming this means Russia and Iran have troops they have deployed to Venezuela. I mean, that's what it sounds like. Let's see what they're talking about.
Has stepped into the Venezuela crisis, and it's not subtle. As Washington tightens its grip after Maduro's capture, Moscow has picked up the phone. Russia is signaling that Venezuela is no longer just a regional flashpoint. It is now a global test of power, sovereignty, and limits. Within hours of the U.S. operation that removed Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, Moscow made its move. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held a direct phone call with Venezuela's executive vice president, Delcy Rodriguez. The message was blunt: Russia stands with Venezuela. In a statement released afterward,
yeah, like, they can't allow this to happen. I'm pretty sure, like, Venezuela is in cahoots with Iran and Russia, and they got things going on. That was like, Venezuela was a part of the way Iran was like avoiding these sanctions. Like, they were a big help to them. So this is a no-go for them.
Russia's foreign ministry said Lavrov expressed firm...
Oh, and I'm assuming they were helping the Russians avoid sanctions as well, because they got smacked with sanctions heavily as well.
Firm solidarity with the Venezuelan people in the face of armed aggression. Moscow pledged continued support for Venezuela's sovereignty, language that sharply contrasts Washington's framing of the operation. The timing matters. The call came shortly after President Donald Trump publicly confirmed that U.S. Special Forces had captured Maduro and taken him out of the country following large-scale strikes. According to Moscow, both sides agreed on the need to prevent further escalation and to seek a political path forward through dialogue, while reaffirming the Russia-Venezuela strategic partnership. Under Venezuela's constitution, Delcy Rodriguez stands next in line, but Trump has made clear that Washington intends to shape what comes next. Speaking to Fox News, Trump...
Yeah, and then they were saying she's sworn in as president and she's on board with everything we have planned and blah, blah, blah. She literally confirmed she is not the president. She wasn't sworn in as anything. And she's not on board with your plan. She doesn't want any U.S. Control over Venezuela. They are a sovereign nation and they're not going to allow that, which is, I mean, obvious. Like, who's just going to allow their country to be taken over by a foreign adversary and then they handpick their government? Like, this is crazy. This is literally like a coup and them installing a puppet government or making an attempt to install a puppet government just blatantly in your face. Like, no covert operation, no CIA, just boom, we're just going to do this out in your face. DOJ and the Department of War. Like, what?
Trump said the U.S. could not take a chance on letting someone simply replace Maduro. Washington continues to insist Maduro is illegitimate. A $50 million bounty had been offered for information leading to his arrest. Now, the U.S. Justice Department has indicted Maduro and his wife on sweeping drug trafficking charges. Russia's intervention reframes the crisis, not as a domestic Venezuelan issue, but as a precedent. Russia warns that if this can happen to Venezuela, it can happen to any state. And then comes Tehran. Iran's foreign minister called Venezuela's leadership to condemn what he described as U.S. military aggression and the abduction of a legitimate president. Iran labeled the operation state terrorism, a violation of international law and national sovereignty, reinforcing a growing bloc of opposition to Washington's actions. What began as a rapid U.S. strike has now triggered a global reaction. Russia speaks, Iran aligns, and Venezuela becomes the latest battleground in a widening struggle over power, precedent, and who decides the fate of nations.
The capture of Venezuela's president is no longer just a regional crisis.
Yeah, so I guess there is no troops on the ground. Like, I don't know why it says make direct Venezuela entry. Like, what?
It has triggered a global diplomatic confrontation. Now, China has broken its silence after U.S. forces captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Calling the move a blatant use of force, China says Washington has crossed a serious line. China says it is deeply shocked. In a sharply worded statement, Beijing condemns the U.S. military strike on Venezuela and the capture of its president. China's foreign ministry calls the action a blatant violation of international law, saying Venezuela's sovereignty has been trampled. Beijing accuses Washington of hegemonic behavior, warning that the move threatens peace and security across Latin America and the Caribbean. China says it firmly opposes the use of force against a sovereign state and rejects any justification offered by the United States. Earlier, Iran and Russia launched a scathing attack on U.S. over its Venezuela operation. Tehran's foreign ministry issued a lengthy condemnation, calling the attack a clear breach of Venezuela's sovereignty and international law. Iran describes the operation as unlawful, warning that such actions undermine global stability and set a dangerous precedent. Russia also responded swiftly and forcefully. In a rare early morning statement, Moscow accused the United States of committing armed aggression. The Russian Foreign Ministry rejects Washington's justification outright, calling it untenable. Moscow says ideological hostility has replaced diplomacy and warns that escalation could spiral beyond control. From Beijing to Tehran to Moscow, major powers are lining up against Washington's move.
Donald Trump.
Okay, I guess that's it. Yeah, so this is alarming, man. All of these superpowers feeling very concerned about this. I mean, they might feel the need to send people over there. That might be the battlegrounds and the start of World War III. I mean, I know people keep talking about World War III and all of this for the past few years now, but it just seems like that's more and more of a possibility as these years go on. Like, we're getting involved in things we don't need to get involved in. We are destabilizing countries, destabilizing entire regions, and just sticking our nose where it doesn't belong. And these other foreign superpowers are getting highly upset about this. I mean, if Russia wasn't involved in a war with Ukraine right now, who knows what their response to this would be. They might send boots on the ground immediately to Venezuela just in a show of force that they're not going to allow this to happen. You're not going to take over a sovereign nation because you feel like it, or because their leader was trafficking drugs to your country, which is, that's all that's being alleged from what I see. Their leader was trafficking drugs to the United States. That doesn't give the United States the power to go take over their country and go find out who's going to be the next leadership and all of this. Like, that's their job. They're a sovereign nation. They hold votes. They have a voting system. They can do whatever they need to do, not us come and do it for them. Like, I don't understand. So keep doing some updates on this Venezuela topic, see where this goes. Be back with some more videos soon. Kumo DTV everywhere, KumoCast on YouTube. Go follow, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I'm out.